Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. I'm so happy to see your face. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing because we have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty, and that's exactly what we're doing in this video today. I am so excited to share these products, so I am officially doing another haul video. It has been a while since I've done a haul video, so this is long overdue. Well, you know what? That's a lie. I did one for the Sephora sale. I will link it over here in case you are curious, but that's the last haul video I did, and since then, I've picked up quite a few new products. I've also been sent a few products in PR, as well as gifted some products on our creators and friends trip to Charleston. So I want to share all those items with you. So if that sounds interesting, if you want to dive into some swatches, see some glorious makeup up close and personal, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's start out with eyeshadow palettes, and I'll kick it off with the newest addition to my collection. This is the Cosmos eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, ABH. So they released this beautiful little palette, and in store when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's gonna be whatever, right? It doesn't seem that impressive. I don't care that much, but let me swatch it anyway. And let me tell you right now, I was very impressed by the color story and how they applied. I went ahead and picked it up. And since I had store credit, it didn't really cost me anything. I think I paid like $5 for it, but that's not here nor there. The palette itself is this beautiful, what would you call this shade? Like a seafoam green. It's a very pale, like muted mint green. Really stunning. It's cardboard, it's coated. Cosmos is on the front in gold. Really pretty, right? Inside we have the gold accents, so gold rims everything, and we have a mirror. I don't use the mirror in palettes. And then of course we have the 12 shades. So there are 5 mattes in this palette along the bottom row, and this is a beautiful gradient of shades. So we have this tan brown shade, and then we have 2 mid-tone browns, one with more of a warm orangey undertone, and then the other one is more of a purpley mauvey undertone. I wouldn't consider it brown necessarily, but that's how I group these shades together. I'll just be like, they're browns. But this is like a dusty deep mauve, like a brownie mauve. Then we have this chocolatey matte brown, so stunning. It has a warmer undertone. And then the darkest shade in the palette is this blackened eggplant purple. These work really well to build a gradient look on the eyes if you're going for an all matte look, or you can build your dimension and then incorporate your shimmer as you see fit. The shimmers, oh my god, these are so beautiful. So there's 7 shimmers, the balance of the shades. And what's interesting about these shades is that they are multi-chromes or duochromes. So what you see in the palette is not necessarily what you get. For instance, this blue here, which is super cluster, this one is a beautiful iridescent sparkly light blue. It also has a gold, even a minty shift to it. Really stunning. There's a little bit of pink to it as well. So when you apply it to the eye and you see the shift, it's like, oh my god, that's so beautiful. Sun is like this pinky peachy gold shift. I love that. Orion is the only one that I'm not in love with because it has chunky gold glitter in it. And this glitter falls all over the place. So you'll have to tap off your brush or use a glitter glue. And even with a glitter glue, I feel like the glitter is still gonna fall all over the place. So I don't love that shade. Then we have Mercury. Mercury is this beautiful pewter gray silver shade. It's really smooth, really gorgeous. The next shade, Quasar, looks a little bit green in the viewfinder, but when you swatch it out, it's like a pink with that minty green shift. Stunning. The next shade that I'm not that impressed by is Galaxy. This one is a deep navy blue, like a really dark navy blue base with green and blue glitter to it. And this glitter, even though it's more finely milled than the one in Orion, which is the one we spoke about, even though it's more finely milled, it's still kind of messy. It will fall all over your face. So tap off your brush and you can use this as a deepening shade as well. But I'm not the most in love with that shade either. And then the other shimmer shade, Supernova, this one is a light pink with a blue purple shift. Really stunning. So what you see in this palette is not necessarily what you will get. And I am actually really surprised, and I enjoyed this palette a lot more than I expected to. So I'm glad I picked it up. Now, ABH is a brand that I do side eye quite a lot because of their history, and I'm trying to navigate that, you know, my feelings about that, but I still picked the palette up because I liked it. So that's where I am with that. All right, moving on. Let me grab some palettes that were sent in PR. So these are from Oden's Eye, and I was so excited when I got back from my trip and I saw these in the mail. I was like, oh my God, those look so pretty. Tell me more. So these two palettes are from the George's Divine collection. There are 2 eyeshadow palettes and then a selection of jewelry. And I've done shorts on both the palettes and the jewelry. So I think I can still, yeah, I'll link them over here so you can check them out if you just want to see the swatches, if you want to see the jewelry up close and see me actually try them on. I'm not going to show you the jewelry in this particular video, so check it out if in case you're curious. But the jewelry, I'll just say this about it. They're fun pieces and they feel like quality pieces, even though they may look a little bit more on the costumey side. You have to definitely be into that style of jewelry to really enjoy them. And honestly, it's not my style of jewelry, but there are a couple of pieces that are really cute and I can appreciate the craftsmanship behind them because they don't feel cheap, but they don't feel like Claire's toss away jewelry at all. So I'm going to pass on a couple of them to my niece, especially the silver ones. I'm not really a silver jewelry wearer anymore. I wear yellow gold mainly. So it's like here or there with the jewelry. It definitely has to be your style, but the quality is definitely there. Let's talk about the palettes though, because that's what we really want to talk about. So like I said, there are 2 palettes in the collection. First up is the Jewels and Gems palette. Oh my God. Let me show you this palette up close and personal because it is a really fun palette. So we have mauvey tones, purpley shades, some pops of muted blues and teals. It's like an arrangement of more cool tone shades. And the duochromes and multichromes in this palette, stop it right now. They're so stunning. This is a beautiful palette. And this formula is stunning. The mattes are so creamy. They layer up so well. They build up beautifully. And the shimmers, oh, the shimmers, again, they're creamy. There are a couple of toppers in here, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but they make great accent shades. So if that's what you're into, but the more creamy, rich shimmers, oh my God, they're so beautiful. The multichromes are stunning. And again, they have this great array of mattes to build a gradient, and you can create great dimension because we have deep shades, medium shades, and then even the lighter shade. I really like this palette. It is really, really beautiful. And then we have the Stone and Rock palette. So they come with these sleeves, beautiful artwork as usual with Oden's Eye. I can't get over how beautiful the presentation is. It's just stunning. So this Stone and Rock palette is a green and mustard brown theme. Again, really beautiful. If I had to pick a favorite, I would go with this one. Even though blues are my jam, I feel like this palette is just so stunning to look at. The multichromes in here, so smooth. The mattes are glorious, and these are stunning. When you apply them to the eye, they blend out well again, and it's just easy to work with. I really love this formula from Oden's Eye. Like I said, I've already done short form content featuring these palettes, but they're so beautiful that I wanted to showcase them again. I think I'm gonna have to close my blinds because the lighting has gotten a little bit dark. Hold on. I feel like I always end up in this situation. I'm filming like in the mid-afternoon, so then the sun shifts, and I end up with studio lighting after starting off with natural lighting, but it's fine. Yeah, the color is fine, but the swatches you're gonna see are gonna be up close and personal, so you'll be fine. The next palette that I picked up is this Glamlite Chucky palette. So this is the Crazy in Love palette, and it does that little thing, you know, when you shift it, yeah, that's cute, right? So it's a beautiful theme. This was a restock. And with Glamlite, I'm not really interested in their aesthetic. They do very gaudy looking artwork and gaudy looking palettes, and they're bulky and just excessive. And I've never truly been into their vibe. But this palette kind of interested me and enticed me. So when I saw the restock, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take that as a sign and pick it up. I think they launched this for Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think so. So this palette, let's open it up. You have the mirror, the Chucky artwork, really cute. And then we have, what is it, 15 shades. This is dark and smoky and sultry and stunning, and I love it. Okay, I love it. It reminds me of the Melt Cosmetics Beetlejuice palette. It's, is that the Sitting Room palette? I think it is. So this palette has all smoky tones. There's really no light shade in here apart from this silver, but there's no real highlight shade or like light matte shade. This is strictly a sultry, deep palette. And I personally love a smoky look, so I am all about it. We have grays and deep blood reds and like deep dark cranberry shades, and I love that, like blackened purples. I love it. I absolutely love this palette so much. And what I really enjoy is the selection of mattes. So we have shimmers, yes, but these shimmers are, I can neglect them and stick to the mattes. That's how I feel. But the shimmers aren't bad either. They're more on the thin side, so they feel like that baked eyeshadow formula. And I mean, they apply well. It's fine. Like, they're beautiful, but I'm so in love with the mattes. And again, we have those really beautiful smoky shades. And I love doing like a gray eye, a gray smoky eye. Like, stop it. The only shade I could probably do without is this silver. The other shimmers are fine, right? But this silver, I'm not going to wear that. Like, I'm not going to. But everything else, stunning. I love this. I am so glad I picked this up. It's definitely a vibe. And I wouldn't say it's gothic. It's just more on the smoky side, which doesn't have to be gothic. You can just create great dimension on an outer lid with it and do a light eye. It's just, I love that. I love that palette, and the formulation seems to be pretty decent. It doesn't burn my eyes. So I'm enjoying that palette so far. All right, let's move on to some PR products. I got this palette sent to me. So this is from Unearthly Cosmetics, which was a brand that I was introduced to on our Creators and Friends trip to Charleston. And this particular palette is a collaboration with one of the creators that attended that trip. So this is a collaboration between Heather Austin and Unearthly Cosmetics. And I got this sent to me and I was like, let me see what this is about. Go Heather. Congratulations to Heather. I did a get ready with me video. I will link it over here if I remember. If I don't, let me know. But I will link it over here. I did a look with a couple of shades from this palette. So this one is a 12 pan eyeshadow palette. We have, let's see, 2, 4, 5 mattes, and then the rest of the shades are shimmers. And these have multi-chromes in them. So this shade here, Creation, is like a beetle shade. Oh, did I tell you the name of the palette? It's the Resurgence collection. But I love that this palette is kind of colorful, but also kind of smoky at the same time. So we have this really bold blue, which I love, this bright green, this pink, this red, and then you have a mix of shimmers that are multi-chromes or duochromes, like this beetle shade here, Creation. And I love that creativity, but it makes the palette less cohesive, so it's not like a one and done palette. You'll have to use it with another palette, which I don't mind doing, and that's exactly what I did in that video, that get ready with me. I combined it with another palette, and I feel like that's okay, especially if you have multiple palettes in your collection. You don't want to repeat shades, right, just to have a palette that's a one and done. You can mix and match as you see fit, and I think these shades are really beautiful. They're really stunning. There are some shades that will stain your eyes. This pink especially will stain. It will leave behind a pink cast on your eyelids. The blue also stains a bit, so just be careful with it. On the back, they have the shades that are considered eyeshadows, and then those that are considered pressed pigments, and they say it's for cheeks. Now, I don't see how you're gonna use all these shades that they mentioned for the cheeks on the cheeks. You're not gonna do that, right? But they kind of have to cover their asses for legal reasons because these can stain the eyes. Even this transformation shade, it can stain the eyes, and the creation shade. They have this purpley hue to them. They can stain the eyes. So just be mindful of that. But I think these shades are really stunning, and I'm excited to see what else comes from this brand. In addition to the palette, we also have this highlighter duo, which I think is stunning. So in this duo, we have this icy white pink. It's a really stunning shade for the inner tear duct. It pops really nicely. On lighter skin, I can see you using this as a face highlight. For me, it's a little bit too stark. I wouldn't do that for me personally. So the darker shade, which is Renewal, is this kind of bronzy pink as well. I can use this as a blush topper. So instead of using it as a full-on highlight, I just top my blush with it and it gives this really beautiful pink glow. It's stunning. And again, you can use these on the eyes as well as the cheeks. And I think this is a beautiful duo. There's also this beautiful shimmery iridescent lip gloss that's included in the collection box, but that is sold out. So right now you can pick the palette up, but not the full collection. But I'm really happy for Heather, and I appreciate Unearthly Cosmetics sending that my way. They'd also sent over a goodie bag for us during the Creators and Friends trip, so we were able to test out a few more of their products. One of them being this Don't Be Jelly eyeshadow palette. This is the second palette that I used in that Get Ready With Me video. And this palette, I feel like, can work on its own to give you a full look, or you can, again, pair it with another palette. And what they did with this palette is created duos. So we have like this matte mint green with this shimmery green, and then a shimmery purple, matte purple, and so on. So these pair together well, and then you can use them in quads as well. So I think this palette is really stunning, and I'm really excited about this brand because the formula works really well. Just be careful with the staining because these can stain. They do stain the eyes. We also got to try these lip products from Unearthly. So we have two of the satin liquid lipsticks and a lip gloss. And the packaging for the lip products is kind of interesting because we have this snow globe design on the cap where we have purple glitter with silver stars and moons floating around in this liquid. It's really cute. It's a little bit extra for me, but it's cute, right? So the coffee brown shade is Kaylena. This is kind of a milk chocolate brown. And then we have Aura, which is a rusty rose. It kind of has a little bit of orange to it, but it's mostly like this rusty rose shade. I'm not in love with this shade. The Kaylena brown shade is probably the one that I would go for. And then the lip gloss is just a rose pink. Really pretty, really cute. We also received some of their highlighters. So these are called low light highlighters. We have 4 of the shades. I don't think I swatched these up close, so I will go ahead and swatch them now. These are the light icy highlighters that were popular back in the day. I'll just show you what they look like now. This is the shade Twilight. So you see it's kind of an icy white shade. It looks a little bit like a silver. Not my favorite. Then we have Spectre, which is an icy pinky purple. Again, not in love with that either. Mirage is kind of a minty gold, and then Spellbinding is kind of a iridescent orangey pink. And you'll see them all here, starting with Twilight, least favorite. Then we have Spectre, Mirage, and Spellbinding. My favorite would probably be Spellbinding, just because of that pinky sheen. The others would just be too harsh for me. This is kind of reminiscent of 2018, 2019, but not quite up to date for 2023. I feel like I'm moving a little bit too slow, so let's pick up the pace. The next palette was sent in PR from Alter Ego. This is the Coastal palette. it looks like so. Does this remind you of anything? So Alter Ego dupes other palettes on the market from mid-end or high-end brands. So this one is duping the Rose Quartz palette. And with Alter Ego, I feel like they do a pretty decent replication of the original palettes, but the formula is not that stellar, especially on richer skin tone. These don't pick up as well. So the original palettes will always outperform, to me, Alter Ego palettes, just because, of course, this is a cheaper alternative, so it's not gonna be as well done. But for the most part, the palettes are decent, you know, and they do a pretty good job of matching the colors up. So I feel like this palette is decent if you wanted to grab it, because I know the Huda Beauty palettes are very pricey. And if you just wanted a feel for the palette, I don't think you can go wrong necessarily, unless you're looking for a lot of punch, you know, like a lot of color. You're not gonna get it here. They also sent me the Midsummer palette. This one duplicates the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. So this is what it looks like. I have not swatched it yet. I'll probably, you know what, let me show you this palette up close. I haven't actually swatched it. You can see it's brand new, and it's a duplicate of the ABH palette, the Nouveau palette, which I do have as well. So let me show you what they look like. I don't think I'm gonna do a video, like a full video for this. Again, the formulas are gonna be less spectacular, and I did like the Nouveau palette from ABH, so I don't think that the Alter Ego one is going to blow me out the water. But they've steadily been improving the formulation, so they're getting better. As you can see, the color story is spot on, but they'll rearrange the shades. So you see where the purple is in comparison to the Nouveau palette. So they'll rearrange the shades, they rename the shades, but it's the same color story. Let's do some quick swatches of a couple of the shades, mostly the mattes. The lavender shade is actually picking up pretty well. Let's see what the meadow shade looks like. Pretty decent as well. All right, come on, Alter Ego. So the shades will need some building up, right? But I am actually a little bit impressed by this. I was not expecting them to pick up as well. So there are the mattes. That's pretty nice, right? I'm going to swatch the ABH shades next to the Alter Ego ones, so you can see the difference in shade and almost the difference in formula. You can kind of see how they pick up a little bit differently, but the shades are pretty close. I'm not gonna lie, the shades do come pretty close, but the ABH ones, which are on this side, oh my god, I swatched them all funky, but the ABH ones are a little bit more punchy. They're a little bit more intense. They pick up a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? The shades are very close though, but you're just gonna get a more muted version from Alter Ego, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, if you have a lighter skin tone, that may be a preference for you, that you're looking for something that's a little less punchy, but you still want the same color story. For me, I have a richer skin tone, so I'm always looking for more oomph from my shadows. And the Alter Ego ones, to me, just don't pick up as well as I would like them to. Here are a few of the shimmers. Very subdued, very beautiful though, right? And the colors are stunning. So again, I don't think you can necessarily go wrong, especially if you're trying to duplicate a more expensive palette. Like, come on, like who wouldn't want a cheaper version or a cheaper option? But just be mindful that you may not be getting the same quality necessarily as the pricier option. And even the shades may not be spot on from what I'm seeing right now. The shades are, wait, I swatched the wrong thing. You get the gist. You get the gist. So can you tell which one's which? This is ABH. And then this is Alter Ego. So you see, they're kind of more muted. I swapped these shades around. So this should have been for this one and this should have been for this one. But you see, you can tell, right? The Alter Ego shades, which are on the bottom, pretty, but not as impactful, especially like these two shades. Same color pretty much, but the shimmer, the impact is a little bit different. That's what I mean. To me, Alter Ego is kind of the drugstore version of these higher end products, because they're gonna give you kind of upper drugstore quality, right? Color payoff and everything. And it's still the same color story, just not the same pizzazz as the more expensive option. So take that for what it is, you know, decide how that affects how you purchase your products. So let's jump into the face products, starting out with the foundation stick from Bosma. Bosma is a newer brand to Sephora, and this foundation stick comes highly recommended. It's the only thing in their line right now, and I decided to try it out because Khaki from Khaki Reviews Beauty, I think that's her channel name, she mentioned that she loves this formulation, and I was like, all right, let's try it out. The shade selection is apparently really great, and I was able to find an exact match. I picked up shade 14. So this says it has buildable coverage from light to full, and then a natural satin-like finish. It comes in this beautiful pink packaging, really stunning. You twist it up. It's a foundation stick, right? So, you know, your run-of-the-mill foundation stick. Packaging is stunning. You get a decent amount of product. Actually, let me check how much product you get here. 0.22 ounce of product, or 6.3 grams. I don't know that that's a lot, but again, it's a foundation stick. I would think you would get at least 1/3 of an ounce, but neither here nor there. The actual foundation, I've tried this out in a Get Ready With Me, and I didn't love it because I was using a matte primer. So I was like, maybe the matte primer is making this feel a little bit drier, a little bit stiffer. But I've tested it out a couple of times since then. I've worn it with moisturizer, so my skin is really hydrated. I'm just gliding this over my skin. And the verdict is, it's still not my favorite formulation. It is a stiffer formula. It feels a little bit drier, and the finish isn't that great. The coverage isn't that great. It doesn't look that great on my skin, so it's nothing that I would write home about. So even though it's okay, you know, it's not a bad product at all. It's not like, oh my God, this is awful, throw it in the garbage. It's okay, but at the price point, for it just being okay, like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's just an okay foundation. Now, if you're not that complicated and you're just looking for a foundation stick that's easy to apply, that has a great shade range, that you're probably more than likely going to find a good shade match in, then go for it, but don't expect a lot. It's just gonna be okay. The coverage is okay. You do have to build it up quite a lot. The application is fine, but it doesn't feel that luxurious because it is a stiffer formula. It blends okay, but again, it's the feel, the whole experience. It's not there, and I don't love it. So I wouldn't recommend this. I honestly would not. So I can skip right over that. Let's talk blush, because I picked up a few blush products, all right? So first up is Armani Beauty. They have these new Luminous Silk Glow blushes. Listen, okay, these are really beautiful. They're pricey, but they're beautiful. I picked up 3 shades because I'm obsessed, but I really enjoyed, what are they called? Let me grab one here. These were called their Neo Nude Melting Color Bombs for eyes and cheeks. Oh my God, these are so good. So these are their cream blushes, which I'm in love with, right? So when I saw them say they're doing powder blushes, I'm like, tell me more. I'm all about it. Let's have this. Let's do it. So I picked up shade 40. Which is a beautiful kind of like a muted rosy coral. Stunning. Shade 30 is a very light peachy orange. Love this as well. Even though it looks light, it shows up on my skin really well. And then 51 is a muted light pink. So this one is probably the least pigmented. Well, the lightest shade. It's not the least pigmented, but it's the lightest of the 3 that I picked up, but it still shows up on my cheeks. Do you see that? It's a lightly pigmented product that you can build up, and it gives a natural look to the cheeks, right? Even though it looks really light in the pan, it just applies so well. I love this formulation. It really sticks to my skin too, so they don't fade away within 2 minutes of applying them. They give this beautiful, smooth, silky look to the skin. They don't look dry, they don't look powdery, and again, they hold on. I'm in love, okay? Now, let's talk about Dior, because I picked up some of their blushes as well. So Dior did this extension to their rosy blush line. They only had this Pepto-Bismol pink shade originally. That was the only shade. It went viral on TikTok, and so they expanded the shade range, all right? They have some beautiful shades. I did a shopping block video, I'll link it over here, where I swatched all the shades. I ended up picking up 2 of the shades. So I have Rosewood and Cherry. These are perfect for me, okay? Rosewood is more of this muted rose shade, similar to 51 from Dior. They're kind of similar shades. Yeah, they're really similar, but the Dior one is a little bit deeper, a little bit richer. This is a beautiful neutral shade on me, like an everyday blush. Just pop it on, gives a little flush to the cheeks, but nothing crazy. I love it so much. It's so pretty. And then I grabbed Cherry, which was a little bit intimidated because it's described as a red. It's not really a red. It's more like a bold coral shade. It's really stunning. It's intense. It's beautiful. I love it. Oh my God. If I had to recommend, well, you know what? Both of the shades are beautiful. Natural is the Rosewood. Fun and punchy is the Cherry shade. But don't be intimidated because it doesn't look this bold on the cheeks. It's just a really beautiful shade and it blends out really well. And again, it gives you this beautiful finish on the cheeks and it's long lasting. That's key for me when it comes to blushes. Is it going to last on my cheeks? Because my skin eats blush and I need it to stay on and give me color, you know, throughout the whole day. I don't need you to go disappearing on my face. So I really love both the Dior and the Giorgio Armani blushes. They're Armani Beauty really, but I keep going back and forth because it's a GA on it, right? Giorgio Armani, but they say it's Armani Beauty and I'm like, all right, fine. Your cosmetics line is Armani Beauty, but I love both of the formulations. The shades are different enough where I'm happy to have both in my collection. So I'm just really excited about those. Let's go on to some face powder. Here we go. This is the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Custom Finish Powder Foundation from Shiseido. Say that 4 times fast. I got this on sale from Shiseido. Again, another recommendation from that Charleston trip. So this one was a recommendation from Kelsey Brianna J, who is bae. She was using this on the trip and I was like, girl, I was recommended this in my comments a while back when I did a review of the Makeup Forever powder foundation. Somebody said, hey, have you tried this out? Or it's either you asked me if I tried it out, asked me to review it, or told me it was great. Either way, I had it in the back of my mind thinking about it. Guys, look at my hair. Oh my God. A quick intermission, all right? My roots have grown out so much, and I have been debating whether or not I was gonna keep the blonde up, and I haven't straightened my hair in a while, like in months, right? And I've had braids a couple of times as well, so I didn't know how the blonde was really looking on its own, you know, like out of a ponytail, out of curls, out of braids. And today I went ahead and straightened my hair, and low-key, I'm kind of still loving the blonde. I thought I would just go back to my dark roots and just make it all black, but I'm thinking I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna lighten up the roots because I feel like the ombre is really settling in right now. It looks blended enough, right? Like, especially on this side, like, look how blended that looks. So I'm gonna keep it for now because I think it looks good. And it's summertime, so who doesn't want lighter hair for the summer? I'll rethink it, revisit in the fall, but for right now, I love it. All right, the Synchro Skin, all right? So Kelsey was like touching up with this throughout the day. Like, I was like, Kelsey, what you saying, girl? She's like, get it, don't talk to me, get it. So I did go ahead and grab 2 shades. Let me grab the other one because I have it like tucked under on my desk. So I have the shade 340 Oak, which is way too light. It's very light. I picked up 2 shades because I wasn't sure what my shade would be and they were having a sale. So I think it was 30% off. So it wasn't too pricey and I, again, wasn't sure what shade to pick up. This is too light, all right? You see how it looks way too light, but I can use it to highlight. That's the only way I can use this one because it can look really stark. And then my correct shade is 360 Citrine, which is a richer shade. Oh, a little plastic fell out, but that's fine. This is my shade, and I do really like this powder. Do I think it's better than the Makeup Forever powder? I don't know that I would say it's better than Makeup Forever. I feel like I can see this on my skin a lot more than the Makeup Forever option. Does that make sense? When I apply this, I can kind of see the powder, but with the Makeup Forever, I feel like it's a little bit more seamless. I don't know if I'm making that up, but that's just the general vibe and feel that I get. Like right now, I can see where the lighter powder is, you know? I don't know. I like the Makeup Forever one. I also like this Synchro Skin one. It's not that I don't like it, but I just feel like the shade of Makeup Forever is probably better for me. I'm not a powder foundation person. Like, I don't wear them on their own, but I will use it to set foundation. And when you set foundation with a powder foundation, you're adding coverage and you're adding powder and you're adding layers. So it can be a little bit heavy looking. And I feel like that's the vibe I get from the Shiseido one. Even though it's pretty, like it's very smooth, very pretty, but I feel like I see it a lot more than the Makeup Forever one. So those are my 2 cents. It's not a bad powder. It's just, I feel like the Makeup Forever one is toe to toe with it, neck to neck. It's not, and I would, you know what? The Makeup Forever one kind of edges it out too. So it's not bad. It's just, I feel like the Makeup Forever one, I would choose it over the Shiseido one, even though I like the Shiseido one enough. I did not help anybody with that, right? No. That was probably not helpful at all, but that's what I got for you, okay? Now let's talk about this loose powder from One Size. So One Size is by Patrick Starr, and he launched his line with loose powders. These are the ultimate setting powders, right? And he had 2 shades, translucent and deep. Fine, cool, cute. I use the translucent shade to set under my eyes because it's such a great powder. It's really great at setting foundation, setting concealer. Nothing moves. It's matte, but it's not dry. Love it, love it, love it. I've been recommending it forever. I travel with it. I have the travel size, like it's a whole thing, right? They expanded. They added 2 new shades. So we have a pink, which is for brightening, you know. Again, I swatched it in my shopping block video. Check it out. So I decided to pick up the new shade in Sweet Honey, which is the honey shade. This is a little bit of a warmer tone, so it has some honey to it, some caramel, but it's not really a banana or a yellow powder, which I hate seeing a banana powder on richer skin tone. It does not look good. And you know what's bad? When you watch these reality shows, right? So I was watching, what is that on, is it on Peacock? The one about the divorcees. So they're couples that are divorced and they're on this island together and they're trying to date other divorcees, right? So they're intermingling. So they're seeing if they can work things out with their partner, get some closure, or move on, right? And date somebody else on the island. And the whole premise is they're gonna pick like the best couple at the end of it. People are voted off if they're not like vibing or like really participating in the experiment or whatever experiment. They're not really participating in the vibes, you know? So that's what I was watching, and there's this beautiful dark skinned girl. She's not really even dark. She's like a brown skinned girl, and they were doing like this sit down activity, whatever. But I could literally see the yellow contrast of the banana powder under her eyes, and I'm like, why are we doing this to us? Like, stop it, okay? And even on like the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you can see that banana. It's yellow, and it looks like jaundice. It looks yellow. Stop doing it. It looks harsh, especially in 4K, okay? Maybe in person it's not no, that's a lie. I've seen it in person too. It looks bad. All that to say, this powder is not that yellow, okay? It is a yellow tinted powder. It's a little bit more on the honey side, but it's not yellow. It's almost like a beigeish color. and it works really well on my skin tone. All that to say that it works really well on my skin tone. I can use it all over my face instead of just under my eyes now because there's nothing stark to it. Even though the translucent powder, the translucent option isn't like a stark white or anything, I still feel like honey is better on me. So I'm happy that the shade range has expanded because dark was too deep for me, which would work great for richer skin tones. I'm so happy about that. So I definitely recommend the One Size powders. I'm gonna say it again and again. This is a really good powder. Try it out. Really stunning. All right, let's talk about these primers. All right, let me grab the rest of them. So these primers were sent to me by L'Oreal, and I had zero. I had zero. I look pretty, guys. I must say, I am flourishing. You want to know what foundation I'm wearing? Girl, Herbs, our friend Herbs, Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. My shade is 70 NN. Someone had asked me my concealer shade. It's also 70 NN from Urban Decay. I love Urban Decay. They also have this new liquid blush that they debuted, they launched. I'm thinking about it. They didn't send it to me in PR, which I am a little bit salty. I feel a little bit jaded. Hello, can I get it in PR? Anyway, I'm probably gonna reach out to them and ask them for it. But the Hydromaniac blush, we're gonna reach out to them. Anyway, that's the foundation. It's fantastic. Like, stop playing with me. Anyway, L'Oreal sent me these primers. I was like, all right, let me see what L'Oreal got going on. Ain't nothing going on. So this is the Prime Lab, right? Advanced Derm Primer. They have a, what is this one? This is the Dullness Reducer. So this is an orange tinted primer. It's like a color corrector. It can brighten your complexion. Good for the summer because it has that little tint to it. Cute, all right? This one has 4% niacinamide and it evens skin tone over time. So it is a primer as well as a skincare kind of product, which I don't mind having skincare ingredients in my primer or like my foundation or my powders, because when I wash my face, I kind of feel like I got a little bit of nourishment throughout the day from my makeup. That may not be true, but it may also be true, and I'm gonna rock with it. All right, so they have this 24-hour now pore minimizer. All of them are 24-hour, right? They all say 24 hours. So this is the pore minimizer one. It has 1% AHA plus LHA plus BHA complex. Pore minimizer. Fills in the pores. It's not like silicone heavy. It feels like a lightweight lotion. Really cute. Nice, nice, nice. Then they have the redness eraser. So this one also has 4% niacinamide and covers redness, even skin tone over time. Let me see what the pore thing says. Blurs pores, skin looks smoother over time. Okay, cute. And then the star of the show, the matte setter. So this one has 1% LHA and salicylic acid, grips makeup, no shine, skin looks rebalanced. You love how I was pronounced. I didn't know what that word was gonna be, so I totally mispronounced it. So again, let's try that. Skin looks rebalanced over time. It's true. It's true. This primer, if you have oily skin, it's the summertime, get it right now. Get it. I'm telling you. Oh my God. Ulta had a sale on this. It was like buy one, get one 50% off. I bought two because I'm wearing it right now. Am I matte? I am matte. But am I dry? I'm not dry. I'm just matte. Oil, shine, at bay. It is being held at bay, kept at bay, and I love it. I love it. This is a holy grail, like a mattifying primer that doesn't feel dry, doesn't feel tight, doesn't suck the life out of my skin, grips my makeup, doesn't make anything look cakey, and it doesn't drag, you know? Everything glides, okay? And that's what I was afraid of with the Bosma foundation. I was like, oh, maybe this is causing the Bosma to be dry and draggy. No, the Bosma on its own is dry and draggy. This is fantastic. Don't you ever blaspheme against my L'Oreal primer. L'Oreal hit this out the park. I love it so much. I am so happy. The pore minimizer is also great. I don't know about the redness corrector thing, but I'm gonna get into this dullness reducer because I'm just loving it. And you can combine the primer, so you can use the pore filling part in your pores, you know, and then use the mattifying elsewhere. When I tell you these These primers are stellar. I mean it. They're so good. I love them so much. So highly recommend those from L'Oreal. Full disclosure, those were sent to me, but I'm in love. They also sent me, let me start going into some lip products. Let me actually grab their little thing. So it came in a box that was this size. Can you imagine? It was a whole thing, right? So we spoke about the primers. They also sent me some eyeliners, the gel liners. I don't care, I passed these on to my niece. But in addition, they sent me these Color Reach Intense Volume Matte Lip Shades. So there are 12 shades. It's infused with hyaluronic acid, and it says it will leave your lips feeling comfortable and looking fuller. It's a slim bullet for precise application, 16-hour wear, and these are stunning. They're mostly pinks, right? So it's a slimline lipstick. I wore one in the shopping block video, but I forgot what shade it was. They are powder light. They smell like L'Oreal makeup, to be honest. They have a little fragrance, but it's light. And this is not the shade I'm going to put on, but I will show you the swatches of all the shades. There's some nudie shades, some pinky shades, some bolder shades. I'm not going to put this on. But I wore one, like I said, in the shopping block video, and I was impressed by how it applied, how lightweight it felt, and it held on for the whole video with gloss on top. L'Oreal, what you got going on? I like those. Those are nice. And I don't know how pricey they are, but they have some fun colors. This is the shade I wore. Yes, this is it. 173 Le Rose Activist. It's stunning. It's a pretty shade, and it's a shade that I wouldn't necessarily gravitate towards. But then I put it on, and I'm like, this is a really beautiful, like, muted, not muted, but yeah, like toned down color. It's a pretty bold color for the summer, but it's toned down. And I was like, and it's comfortable? What? L'Oreal? Let me find out. L'Oreal's over here doing things. I appreciate it. So thank you, L'Oreal, for sending those my way, because I would not have tried them on my own, which is the great thing, again, about PR products. These are products that you may be interested in or you may know nothing about, and you wouldn't have tried them otherwise, and you get introduced to them, and then I can share them with you guys in case you were thinking about it, you saw them and you were like, what's going on? Now I can tell you, the lipsticks, fantastic. The primers, even better. So there you have it from L'Oreal. What else do I have left? Did I tell you about the Make Beauty lipsticks? So they launched these lipsticks on their website. It's kind of their venture into makeup, so color cosmetics. And I picked up a few shades because I love Make Beauty, their skincare, love it. Their brow pencil, love it, right? So I was like, let me try out their lipstick, right? These are slimline lipstick. I did a short form video swatching these out, and you can go ahead and check out the lip swatches. But for the formulation, let's just talk about it. The packaging is really long and thin. I don't know why it's so long. Here it is compared to the L'Oreal. Like, what are we doing here? I'm thinking they're gonna be refillable, but the refill is literally this. So all of this for that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But anyway, the lipsticks, the shades that I picked up are beautiful, right? The formulation is where I'm kind of so-so. The formula feels very thick. So it feels like a heavy butter lipstick on your lips, all right? It's not lightweight. The color payoff is beautiful, but it just feels a little bit thick. And it's not uncomfortable at all, but I just feel like it's a different formula than what I'm used to. Like, most of the formulas that are on the market these days are lightweight, you know? They're not this heavy, really thick, slippery lipstick anymore. They are lightweight, they feel comfortable. These lipsticks, I feel like I always feel them on my lips, and I don't like that feeling. I just don't, but the colors are really beautiful. So if there's a color that really intrigues you, it's not that it's a bad formula, it just takes a little bit of getting used to, because these newer formulations are so lightweight. So it's kind of a departure from what I'm used to now, right? It goes back to those old school, heavier, thick lipsticks, and you can get used to it, but it's not my favorite formula. Some beautiful colors though, so I love the colors. I just don't love the formula. All right, now some other lip products that I got in PR are from BK Beauty. They also gifted us some products on our trip, and they sponsored like a big portion of the trip, so I'm really excited about that. And I got to meet the CEO, Lisa. She is so amazing. She's so cute. She's so sweet. She is so genuine. Like, I sat at dinner with her, and she's the kindest spirit. Like, I love her. I've fallen in love with her just meeting her. And during that dinner, they gave us a goodie bag with all their lipsticks. So they had added new shades, and I did a short form video again showcasing these lipsticks, so you can check out the swatches. Now, the thing about these lip shades is that they are all almost like ladylike, what I would call ladylike Catholic school demure colors. They're light pinks, they're light nudes, they're very subtle shades. They're very what I would call pretty shades. They're very girly shades. They're very feminine, delicate shades. They're all the adjectives. They're very soft, you know what I mean? So if you're looking for that kind of shade range, it's here. And the formulation is very comfortable. Now, this is what I'm talking about, being lightweight and comfortable and cushy and nourishing. They feel good on the lips, and they are beautiful shades. I think these are gonna work the best for lighter skin tones. But as you can see in my swatch video, a few of the shades work well on me, and the red shade especially is stunning. It's such a beautiful red. I love it. And there's this orange shade. Oh my god, it's the most beautiful orange, and it's more muted, so it's not like, oh my god, why is she wearing an orange lipstick? It's a very wearable orange, and it's stunning. So those are my favorite shades, like the deeper shades. But again, they're fun, light shades that you can play with, and I do love the line. I think the packaging is really well done, and Lisa is really great, and there are discount codes all over the place that you can use, so I will link them down below. I don't have a discount code. I think I'll ask for one, but you know, there are other discount codes that you can use along the way. There are also lip pencils in the line, and these are twist up pencils, so you don't have to sharpen them, you twist them up. And I will say I don't like these. These I wouldn't recommend. They break very easily, so I have one that just fell all the way out. You see that? So it falls out, and that's the problem with twist up products. If they break in the tube, then you're gonna have to put them back in the tube. They won't twist up well anymore. And I don't like the packaging of these. Just how they are packaged isn't the greatest. The performance is there, like they're lip pencils. You can't go that wrong with a lip pencil unless it's really dry. These are creamy, they apply well, they work well with the lip colors, but the packaging just leaves a lot to be desired. They're not very functional. I would say skip the lip liners altogether, like don't even bother. I hope they do like a repackaging or just rethink the twist up packaging. I don't think it works well that way. Skip those, but the lipsticks, I would say, yeah, go ahead and try these out, especially if you found a color that you love. The orange and the red, fantastic though, just FYI for me personally, but they have some other more muted, more delicate shades to choose from as well. Another product that I got in PR is from Jones Road. I know, Jones Road reaching out to me. So they sent me these tinted face powders, and I got the shade medium and yellow. And these work really well. They're nice enough powders, and they do mattify and set the face down, and they're finely milled. And I do like the shades that I selected. The medium shade works really well all over the eyes. And then they have that yellow shade, which I kind of stay away from, but I wanted to see how yellow it was. It's not as yellow as a banana powder, so it's definitely gonna brighten the face. So these are fun powder. Thank you to Jones Road. I don't think they're necessarily the most spectacular powders out there on the market. They do their job, so if you wanted to try them out, sure. If I had to choose between them and the one size, I'm gonna choose the one size. So that's my 2 cents. And then they also sent this powder brush. This powder brush is awful. It is very scratchy, and I just feel like it's pricking me the whole time I'm using it. So I don't recommend this brush. I don't like it. But I found out that I have very sensitive skin apparently. All right. So brushes that I think are scratchy, other people are like, oh, these are fine, these are great. And I'm like, what is your skin made of that you think that these are fine? They're not scratchy to you? I don't get it, but then again, I'm into fude. It's all about the luxurious Japanese handmade brushes with animal hair, so No, this is, I don't like it. It's scratchy. I don't like it. I just have a higher expectation for brushes. They should be soft. They should feel great on my skin. They shouldn't feel like I'm exfoliating my eyes or exfoliating my face. So I don't love the brush, and the powder is, it's okay. All right, I have a few other lip and cheek products to talk about. Let's mention the HAUS Labs Le Monster Lip Crayons. So I reached out to HAUS Labs to ask them about their blushes, if I could get them in PR. They never responded to me, so I ended up purchasing myself, and I love them, no regrets, okay? Absolutely love them. But I received a response like really late, a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, they were very apologetic that they were just seeing my message, but if there was anything else that I wanted to try, because I told them that I already bought the blushes, so I don't need them anymore. So I said, can I try out the lip crayons? So they expanded the range and they'd added shades. So originally they had sent me like the pink shade, I think. There was a red shade, but they sent me the full line. So I think these shades are really beautiful. They have some really nice neutral, again, these are delicate, kind of ladylike shades. I know, ladylike, right? You know exactly what I'm saying. They're very girly shades, and the formula is lightweight. Again, it's that powder matte formula, and I think they have some good shades going on. I have not done lip swatches for these as yet. I was planning to do that, but I wanted you to see the swatches of the shades on my arm so you can get an idea of what is available. They're really fun. Again, they're really lightweight and airy, so they feel comfortable on the lips. So I'm excited to try those out and like see what the vibe is, you know? And again, probably do a lip swatch video for you guys. I also picked up a new shade of the Pat McGrath bronzers. So originally I picked up the shades Bronze Divinity and Mahogany. Mahogany is the richest shade. It's way too deep for me, so I returned that. But I had kept the shade Bronze Divinity. And then I went to the Pat McGrath website and realized that they had a shade in between those two darker shades that wasn't available on Sephora. So I picked this up from the Pat McGrath website. This is the shade Burnished Honey. And this shade is a much better shade for me, I thought anyway. And then I got it and I was like, okay. I finally experienced the orange that people talk about when they get bronzers. So it said Burnished Honey, right? So I was expecting like a caramel brown, which would work great for me, for my skin tone, for a bronzer. No, ma'am. This ended up, y'all like my top? This is from Walmart, can you imagine? Anyway, it ended up being a little bit too orange. A little bit too orange on my skin, and I don't love it. I'll keep it though. I can use it, like I used it today, you know? And then I had to buff over it with my face powder because it just got a little bit too orange, but it's fine. I can make it work, especially in like a warm tone look. I can vibe with it, but I have to just be careful with it. But I wanted to show you those two shades, Bronze Divinity and then Burnished Honey, next to each other so you can see the difference in shade in case you were interested in the Pat McGrath bronzers. They're not that great. They're okay. Again, it's like they're okay. I've had better, you know? But in case you were curious and you wanted to see what the shades look like, here's Burnished Honey against Bronze Divinity. You can only get Burnished Honey on the Pat McGrath website, so I thought I would do the service of picking it up and swatching it out for you guys. So that's that for that. And now let's wrap up the video with some new palettes from Sydney Grace and Glitzy Fritzy. I don't know who this is, but they sent me these. These are the Blessed eyeshadow palettes. There's a light version and a deep version, which is what Sydney Grace usually does. These are neutral leaning. Well, no, they're not even that neutral. They're like half colorful, half neutral palettes. So this is kind of what Sydney Grace does. Very muted neutral color stories. This palette has like a pop of purple, a teal, and a couple of lime greens, and then more muted greens and a silver. And in the light version, we have some blend-in shades that are a little bit different. So the highlight shades and like the blend-in shades, like My Savior, Cinnamon Girl, and Pita, are different in the light versus deep, and I'll show you the swatches so you can see them. It's a nice color story. I think it's a good color story if you want to lean into color a little bit more, but you don't want to do anything too extreme. I mean, it's the summertime, so If I had to recommend a Sydney Grace palette, I'm going to recommend my Tropicolor palette, which is my baby right here. Like, come on, get fun, get into it for summer. This is my baby from Sydney Grace, but if you're looking for a neutral palette, they have this new option on their website for you to check out. And they do a Christmas in July sale, so you may be able to get 30% off, but for now there is a 15% off code that I personally have. It's not an affiliate code, it's just the discount code. You can get 15% off. Check down below in my description box for all my discount codes for different websites. You know what I should mention, should I don't know that I care that much. So let me mention these very quickly. These I will end on. So I went ahead, oh god, I'm making a mess. So Victoria Beckham launched these eyewear shadow sticks. These are eyeshadow sticks. And I've been hemming and hawing if I wanted to try them out. And then I saw a code that gave me 20% off and I was like, I'm gonna use that 20% off. So the eyewear sticks, I picked up a few shades. I picked up a few of the neutral shades. So we have, and I didn't even do swatches or anything. So they come in the Victoria Beckham boxes, you know, the signature Victoria Beckham boxes, right? And they're a jumbo size twist up pencil format, right? And the color swatch indicates the shade in the pencil. You have all the details on the pencil itself. You open it and you have the pencil, right? The product. I mean, there's not much to it. So this shade I have is Trench, which is a light beige. I'll show you them up close. So that's Trench. Then I grabbed Sunflower, which is a light yellow. I love this. It reminds me of Cornflower. You remember that shade from MAC in their shade sticks? Then we have Pecan. And I also have Bottle Green, which is Bottle Green is also a shade from MAC. Listen, Victoria, what are you doing? And then Caramel. And I figured these shades were enough for me to sample the formula. We have, so Trench straight down. So I have 3 mattes and 2 shimmers. And those are great. This one, the Caramel one, I can use all over the lid as like a one and done. The Trench shade is a good base shade. Then we have the yellow and, you know, all the stuff. Nothing that like groundbreaking about them. In fact, I feel like the Sephora collection shadow sticks are just as good, if not better. And then I also have the Nude Sticks shadow sticks, which I also love. So I pulled those out and I was like testing them alongside the Victoria Beckham one. And my favorites were the Sephora options. So it's neither here nor there. They're good. It's just that you can get equivalent, if not better, at a cheaper price point. Take that for what it's worth. And then they expanded the eyeliner shades. So they added these 3 fun shades. So we have a pink one that is called Cherry Blossom. Let me swatch these here. And this eyeliner formula is one of my favorites. This and the Makeup by Mario are my top eyeliner formulas. So we have the blue one is called Electric Blueberry, and then the green is Sour Apple. Oh, the wrong side. They have a smudger tip as well. Oh no, I broke it. Oh my god. So I broke the green one, but not too fair. They don't break easily. I just ended up breaking that. I pressed it too hard. So there you have those 3 shades. I think these are fun. These are fun little summer colors to add to the existing lineup, and the formulation is still the same. So I am in love, and now my desk is full of makeup all over, but I really wanted to do this haul video to get everything out of the way so you guys know what I have in my collection now. I'm gonna put a lot of these away because now that I have swatched them out, I've done the haul, now I can throw away packaging and pack them up, all right? Put them away in their places so I don't have this mess on my desk. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Hopefully it was fun just to talk about makeup, and you can see some new products here, what I think about them in case you were curious, you wanted to try them out, or maybe you just wanted to be distracted and entertained while you do some errands, or maybe you're just relaxing. Either way, I'm happy to keep you company, and I'm glad that you stuck around and watched all the way to the end. I will go ahead and leave a full list of all the products mentioned and used in this video. Well, I didn't use anything, but mentioned in this video down below in the description box, along with links on where you can pick them up. If there is an asterisk next to any of those links, that indicates that it is an affiliate link, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through those links. It's a great way to show you support for the channel because it gives me a kickback without changing the sale price. Isn't that great? I'm just saying. I put you on, so please consider shopping through my links. I also have the products linked down below through YouTube Shopping. I also get a commission off those links. So again, a great way to show your support. I also have YouTube thanks, right? The super thanks button, as well as channel memberships, which kind of work like a tip jar for me. So if you wanted to contribute to the channel and to the content, that's a great way, again, to show your support. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you haven't had enough of me yet. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye, guys.